So keeping the addition clean of junk so that I can work on it is always a nightmare. Over here I have the plywood that's going to go on the floor. And then here I had two kitchen cabinets for the upper cabinets that were sitting there, have been there for a long time. I just had to clean out our trailer, our travel trailer, getting ready for our trip. So I had these things stored there. Here's a cabinet. There's 4 more cabinets over there for the top cabinets for the kitchen. So I can't put the plywood down on the floor like I was planning on because I got all this other stuff here. So the next step, I guess, is going to be to finish the kitchen.
Here we go.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey everybody, this is Bill with Live Simple, Live Free. Yes indeed, I'm getting down to the point where I have to do the top cabinets in the kitchen. I've been kind of reluctant to tear into this because once I start I'm committed and I got to do it. And it's going to be, our kitchen's going to be torn up for a while, and I don't like that. But you know, it's got to be done and it's time. So as you know, we've already got the lower cabinets done. We've already got the granite countertops in. Now I have to take out these and put in the new countertops on the top. Now a lot of people asked actually when I took out the lower cabinets if there was some way that I could use those cabinets out in the shed or somewhere else in a garage or something. There's no way because they are all custom built in place and they're not modular. And these upper ones are the same way. You notice that right there, right here, the shelves actually have brackets screwed to the wall, and all of this I'm gonna have, it's all one piece. It's all one piece. Goes all the way over. So I'm just gonna have to tear it out, tear it up when I do this. And so the next step, of course, is to get all this stuff out of here. We got food in here. We got dishes in here. And the problem is we have no place to put that stuff. So I'm just going to have to clean all that stuff out of the cabinets and I guess just put it all on the living room floor or something. I don't know. And that's why I say not only will our kitchen be torn up, but so will our living room until I get this finished. So I'm just going to get to it. Okay, so now, as you can see, all the cabinets are empty. So the next thing we need to do is dismount the microwave, take the microwave down. It's plugged in up there, it's just into a receptacle. There's a small board screwed to the wall that goes all the way across, and the back is just sitting on the on that little board. And then there's 2 screws up here holding it in. This is going to be pretty heavy. So I actually have a big wood cutting board. You can't see it, but there's a big wood cutting board sitting here on top of the granite countertop, just in case this is heavy enough that I drop it. It'll help to protect the countertop a little bit. So I got this screw out, and so far it's quite solid in here. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna hold it up with my knee. Let's actually fairly heavy, and I'm impressed that this was strong enough to hold it. But you see the board here, most of the weight I think was sitting on there, and then it was just screwed down into here to hold it up. So trying to figure out how these are mounted. Like I said, it's basically all one piece the way it's built. And it looks like it's built together here, and then these brackets are what is holding it on. But this thing was mounted in the 70s, and so it's got a flat blade screwdriver right there. And I can't use a drill for that because the flat blade won't stay in there in a drill as you spin it. So I'm going to have to take, there's another one here, there's a couple more over here. I'm going to have to take all of those out by hand with a flat blade screwdriver, and that's going to be very slow and tedious. I got one screw there and two up there. Yeah, slow and tedious. So I guess I'll get back to you when this is about done. This is crazy. I've taken out every screw and every bracket that I can find, and I can't figure out what's holding it onto the wall. So I'm going to actually have to dismantle it. This was, like I said, actually built in place. They didn't build it as a modular cupboard and then lift it up and attach it. It was actually built right here on the wall. So I'm going to have to take it apart just the way it was built, one piece at a time. Alright, there's one board screwed up to the ceiling and this is nailed to it, and I can't get to that to pull the nails out. There's another one over here where it's attached there to the ceiling. This is crazy. Never done anything like this before. So now I've got the upper cabinets out, and so let me tell you a little bit about the plan here. It might sound funny to you when I first talk about it, but it'll make sense when it's all done. We're going to have a corner cabinet over there, another one over here, section in the center where there will not be any cabinet. It'll be 30 inches wide from here to here without any cabinet. to just be the wall. The reason being, we're going to hang our cast iron on the wall right here, like that. We got 4 of them. And then up above, I'm going to build like a ladder kind of thing on its side, like this, where we'll have hooks to put all of my commemorative mugs and things like that. There'll also be a couple of spotlights up there facing down onto the countertop. So, what that means is that this will all be covered behind the new cabinet, so that doesn't matter. But for this wall, I'm going to have to fix it because you can see it and it's not very good. So I'm going to have to do some spackle work here to fix this wall and smooth it out before I can hang the cabinets. I'm also going to be doing a little bit along here. The cabinets only come down about this far. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of spackling along here to try to smooth this out as well. So you can see there's a big hole right here. I need to fill that in. This is where the microwave was mounted many years ago. You can also see right here, there's a big lump where it looks like somebody tried to fill in a hole there at one point and it's all bubbled out. So I need to scrape all that off and fill in those holes. Just try to straighten that all out, flatten it out. Then I've also got all this. That's where the microwave used to be plugged in, and that was inside of a cabinet that you couldn't see. So you'll be able to see this, so I need to spackle over that as well. So whoever did this didn't have a clue what they were doing. So for this first coat of spackle, I'm using the powder mix that you mix up with water because it dries chemically in 90 minutes. And I have this great big hole right here. If I would fill that with the ready mix stuff, it would take days to dry. But this will be dry in an hour and a half. When you're hanging upper cabinets, it's helpful to screw a board to the wall so that when you lift the cabinet up, you can set it on the board while you get it in place. It's very helpful if you have 2 guys doing it, working together. But when you're doing it alone like me, it's absolutely essential. There's no way I could lift that up, hold it in place, and screw it without a board to set it on. So the cabinet is 30 inches tall, and there's supposed to be a 4-inch gap between the top of the cabinet and the ceiling. So I'm going to come down from the ceiling 34 inches. Right there. Now I got to screw it into the studs, and these are where the brackets were for the cabinets before, and those are where the studs are. So it's easy to find them. Also, right here, this box is right next to the stud, which is right there. cabinet in place, then I can take this off and then fill that little hole, screw hole, with spackle before I finish the wall. Now I just wanted to show you here that we just got a new refrigerator, stainless steel, so it matches the dishwasher, and I'm thrilled because it has an ice maker. I've never had an ice maker before. I've wanted one literally all my life, but every time we moved into an apartment or bought a house, it already had a refrigerator that worked fine, and I couldn't justify spending the money to get a new one just for the ice maker. But this one's bigger than our other one. It matches the color of the ice maker. We're very excited about it. Now, when we bought this refrigerator, the sign up at the top said that it was counter depth, and I did not measure it. I just trusted it, and I get here and you see it's nowhere near counter depth. It sticks out 10 inches past. So now we are probably talking about actually recessing it back into the wall, which means taking out the wall that I finished there and putting a little alcove to recess it back so it's level with the front of the counter. Now this is our original refrigerator. We just got this the other day and this is still full. We haven't transferred the stuff over yet. And so this is kind of restrictive right here, but once we get rid of that, and then when we build the pantry here, the pantry will be back about here, and that refrigerator will be recessed, so we should have plenty of room. At any rate, for right now, this is a real restricted area. I think my cabinets will fit through there, but it's kind of tight. Quarter inch to spare. Okay, this corner piece is going to have shelves in here, and then one in the corner on the other side is going to have a Lazy Susan, and then we have both of these on the bottom are both Lazy Susans. Need to mark where the stud is, and then get the screw started. I'm going to have 4 inches to play there. Just enough room for my drill to fit in there. All right, here goes. So now the first coat of spackle is dry. Dried in 90 minutes. I'm ready to put the second coat. For this one, I'm going to use the Ready Mix. It's already in a can, and it's just ready to go. It's much smoother and easier to work with. It's much easier to sand, but depending on how thick you put it on and the temperature, it could take anywhere from 6 to 12 hours to dry. So that's the second coat. It's going to take at least a third coat, possibly a fourth, because this is really rough. Okay, so now that I've got this corner one up, I've got to hang this one. It goes right here. Now, I have two problems with this. One is that receptacle. That receptacle used to be inside the cabinets, and that was where you plug in the old microwave that used to hang here. The problem is electrical code does not allow you to bury an old receptacle like that. If you're not going to use it as a receptacle, then you have to put a blank cover on it, but you have to have access to it in case there's ever a problem with connections in there. You can get access to it to fix it. So I thought I was going to be able to just cut a hole in here and put this up there the same way the other one was. I didn't realize these cabinets were going to be so low, and here's the problem. This right here is the main structural part of this cabinet, and for me to cut that out, see, that's right at the top, I would actually have to cut out a hole right here, and that would compromise the integrity of the cabinet. Also, it would be up into the top part of the cabinet here. So I didn't know what I was going to do. The only other thing I can do is try to figure out where that wire goes and cut it wherever the other end goes to. But I would have to, I don't know where that wire goes, and I would have to tear out the whole sheetrock in order to do that. It was actually Elizabeth that came up with it, with the solution, and I was so grateful to her because I didn't know what I was going to do. I was thinking about just, since there's not a connection in here with another wire, I was thinking about just cutting it off, putting wire nuts on there and burying it, even though that's not legal. I just didn't feel right about that. Here was her solution. This receptacle was added at some time later after the house was built. If it was original, this wire would have been stapled to the stud on the way up. But since it wasn't, somebody just cut a hole and ran a wire down through, which means this wire is loose. Which means there is enough play in this wire that I can actually pull it all the way up like this and put a new box up here. So I'm just going to drill a little bit of a hole in the electrical box here so I can recess the wire. And then I will have a plug up here. I'll probably never use it, but there'll be an electrical box screwed to the wall here, and that'll make it legal. I was very thrilled that Elizabeth came up with that solution for me. Now the other problem is that because this is so narrow, there's nothing to screw it to. There's no stud back here. This one, which is also narrow, had a stud right there I could screw it to. But if I just screw that to the wall, it's not going to hold in just sheetrock. So here's what I did. Usually this board I just put there until I mount it and then I take the board down. I decided to mount the board permanently. There's no stud out here, but there is a stud right there. So I glued the board to the wall, put a screw there and back there. That'll do a lot to help support it. I will leave it there. It'll be painted the same color as the wall, and you won't see it unless you look up underneath of it anyway, so it's not really an issue. So I've got that there to sit it on, and then I've got anchor bolts, butterfly type anchor bolts, to attach it at the top to the sheetrock. Most of the weight will be down here. That'll keep it from falling forward. But then also, once this is in here, you open this up and screw this together. It'll be screwed into this one as well, and that should support it. So I spent a half a day trying to figure out how to do this, and I think I finally figured out how to do it so that it won't fall off of the wall when it gets full of stuff. Also, it's a small cabinet, so it's not going to be real heavy when it's full, like this one might be. Okay, so now I've got this wire pulled up through there and put into another box. After I put this next cabinet on, then it'll sit right up on top like that and be accessible and legal. Now to put this cabinet on here, this is a new kind of wall anchor I've never seen before. You twist it like this, drill a hole in the wall, put that through the wall, and then open it up like this, and then screw your screw into that. And that's supposed to hold up to, I think they said 300 pounds in 1/2 inch sheetrock. I don't know, I'm skeptical, but we'll see. I'm putting in 2 of these. So I've got holes drilled up here where I want the anchor bolts to go through. Now I got to figure out where that goes into the wall. Now let's see if I get this bolt in there. It's a 1/4 inch bolt. Okay, so now I need to put up this one right here. And it seems like every one of these has some kind of a challenge. This one has a gap here along the wall. This part, the back side, was screwed flat to this wall, and this is pulled out away, which tells me that the corner, the wall, wasn't quite square. It was like this. So this is pulled away. So if I just take this cabinet and screw it right there, then it won't match up in the front. So I need to shim it. So I got just a couple pieces of 1/4 inch lawn plywood right here, and that's the exact size I need right there. And then I'll have 2 more up here, just like that. And that'll move the cabinet out away from the wall. Now I am, like I mentioned on the other side, I'm going to leave this board here for it to sit on. Usually walls have studs that are 16 inches on center, but all of these walls, the studs are 24 inches on center, which means there aren't as many studs to screw into. So normally I would have a lot more places. It's making me a little nervous because there aren't as many solid places to screw to, so that's why I'm leaving this here. There is one stud right here that's screwed to, and then the cabinet will be screwed into that stud. But this is just an extra little bit of security since it's only 24 inch center instead of 16 inch center. In there, nice and solid. Alright, so I got the cabinets in place, and you can see now that I have at least 3 of the cast iron pots in place. We're going to have one more here, but I got to get another hook for that one. So once that's in, it doesn't look quite as unfinished. Also, of course, this will all be painted eventually, and that'll help a lot. And then we'll have the mugs hanging up above. I've still got a fair amount of things that I still need to do here. Notice how that plug, when I moved it, it worked out perfectly to be able to sit right there. And then over here above the stove, we have a short cabinet that goes across there, and then the microwave hangs underneath of it. And there's an electrical plug under here that I need to extend up here so I can plug in the microwave. And then over here, I still have to replace that one with a cabinet that's full length like this. It'll go there. And then there's like a wooden like valance sort of thing that goes across the top here, and then there'll be a light up underneath of that above the sink. So that's the stuff that I still need to do. Oh, and then the 4-inch gap above, there's molding that completely covers and fills that in as well. So that's all the stuff that I still need to do. Now it's taken me, how long have I been working on this? 4 days? 5 days?
Something like that.
I only work for 3 or 4 hours at a time because I got other stuff I got to do. And it's going to take me a while to do the rest of it. This video is getting long enough that I think I'm going to end it here. So the rest of it that I just showed you still needs to be done. That'll be in the next video. So what are you thinking about our new kitchen so far?
Oh yeah, I'm really, really happy with things. I think this whole thing with the cast iron is going to make it much easier for me. And it's going to look really cool when it's all done. There's the cupboard right up here that's the Lazy Susan. Oh my goodness, I am very, very excited about that. So, no, I'm excited to see this all coming together. And when he said next video, I mean the next kitchen construction video.
Yeah, I don't know it'll be the very next video that we do, but it'll be the next construction video that we do. We'll be finishing up the kitchen here.
So, no, I think it's going to be gorgeous. I can't wait to get all the little bits and pieces all done.
Right.
And I'm very slowly starting to move things in.
So I hope you're enjoying it. We certainly are.
Oh yeah. I'm so glad he knows how to do so many things. I sure don't know how to do.
So thanks for watching, everybody.
Live simple.
Live free. You be blessed.
Okay.
See you in the next video.
Yeah, we love you guys. We'll see you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.